to continue our look at folk art, and we are traveling to Mexico. And today we are going to look at the Mexican folk art around creating sugar skulls. So from October 31st through November 2nd in Mexico and in some of South America, they celebrate a holiday called Dia de los Muertos. And you watched the video that told you more about what that holiday was all about. And in part of that is decorating sugar skulls. And to do that today, we are going to use collage. If you chose this video, that meant that you want to do that with collage, and that means that we're going to be cutting paper and gluing it together. And I did use some marker a little bit for some extra decorations. So to do it with collage, you are going to need a piece of white paper, and then other colors, other scrap paper. Black will be helpful, but then any other colors that you have. You'll also need a scissors, a black marker, and glue. I'm going to use a glue stick. If you have a glue bottle, you could use that as well. All right, let's get started. We're going to take our piece of white paper to begin and fold it the long way. Then open it up, turn it, and fold it the opposite way. And when you do that, you should have a nice little crease going both ways, like an X. Okay, I'm gonna close it back up the long way. And then I'm gonna just take my marker and I'm gonna put a little dot up near the top like that. If you can see that little dot, you can make it a little bigger so you can see it. A dot towards the bottom, like that. And then a dot on this line that's going through the middle, not all the way to the end, but a little bit right there. So we have like 3 dots. We are going to be drawing our sugar skull shape with these dots as a guide. So make sure that the fold is where your dots are, okay? Because when we cut it out, we're gonna cut it out on the sides so that when we open it up, our sugar skull is going to be symmetrical, and that means it's mirroring the image on both sides. It's equal on both sides. Okay, so let's make the shape of the skull. So I'm going to take my marker and kind of curve it down like this, and then make it come out to touch that dot. Bring it in and then curve it out a little again to touch that dot. So it's kind of a shape. If you want to do this first with a pencil, you can do that. And sometimes I've done this before where I cut it out and I do a couple different tries because I don't really like the shape of it. So if it takes you a couple tries, that is fine. Then take your scissors and cut on the line. You want to bring that, make sure that that second dot is out a ways so that you have, you know, your sugar skull isn't too skinny. All right, and then I'm going to open it up. See, my sugar skull's kind of skinny. Maybe should have brought that second one on a little bit more, but that's okay. Okay, so there's my sugar skull to start with. Now, just like Scandinavian art, I am going to add different embellishments to it. You're gonna have, if you looked at the slide before, you saw all the different little decorations and flowers and things like that that you can add to it. But before we do that, we do need to add the basic eyes, nose, and mouth for our skull. I'm gonna do that with paper. You could also do this step with your marker if you'd rather, just draw it on. I want my collage to really look like all the main parts are collage, so I'm gonna do it that way. So I'm gonna take my black piece of paper and I'm actually gonna fold it in half because just like the skull, I want it to be symmetrical. So that means like both of the eyes are the same shape. The nose is the same shape on both sides. The mouth is the same shape. So I'm gonna take my black and fold it in half. And then I'm gonna take a crayon. If you have like a white crayon, you could use a pencil too. I'm gonna use this really light yellow crayon that shows up really well on black so that I can see it. And since I folded it, when I cut it, I'm gonna cut both pages, then I'm gonna get two of the same circle that are exactly the same. Then for my heart, I'm gonna do that on the fold. You probably have done this before where you do a half of a heart shape on the fold, like this little curved line, and then you get a full heart. And then lastly, I'm going to do a mouth, and I'm going to do one of these mouths where there's these little lines coming down like this. Almost looks like a fence or something. Like that. All right, I'm gonna get my scissors out and cut these things out now. And then this side that I have this crayon on, I'm gonna flip that over so that's the back side. I don't want that to show on my picture. Okay, so I cut both, so then, boop, I've got two of them now. Put that there. Let me get the nose. And sometimes with collage, when you lay it out, so I'm gonna lay it all out and glue it all at the end. That way if I'm gonna change anything I can. But sometimes you might notice like, oh, that is way too big, or those eyes are bigger than I wanted, so you might wanna change something. This mouth is a little bit trickier to cut. A lot of back and forth. You can look back at the slide to give yourself some ideas. Of course, you do not have to make it just the way that I'm making it. I'm just giving you some ideas here. I love to see all of your ideas though when you have different ideas than me. Almost done here. This one I might have to, once I've cut it, because I did mine on the fold again so that it got extra long. You don't have to do that. You could have just done it all at once, but I did it so that when I opened it up, it was extra long. But see this middle one? I don't know if you can see that one. It's like extra thick. I'm just gonna fix that up, make it a little skinnier so that it doesn't look like it doesn't match the other ones, like looks way bigger. Okay, almost done here. Now, I'm gonna make that be, it's pretty big. I could take some off the sides, or I could make it crooked like this. I don't know, what do you think? Maybe I'll take one of these off. One too many. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, now, I might just glue these main pieces down because I know that that's not gonna change. So I'm gonna take my glue stick, make sure the glue's all around it on the back, not just a little bit in the middle. And get that glued down. The rest of it I'm going to cut and decorate, but I'm not gonna glue it down until the very end. Okay. Sometimes it's fun like that nose. I like to put it a little bit on an angle. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to add the different decorations. So the main thing on this is the flowers on the top. It's like kind of like a crown of flowers on top of the head. So here was one that I made another time. This next one that I make, I might do a little bit differently, but I put a crown of flowers on there, and you can look back at the slide to see how to make some simple flowers, so that you that can help you. And you can just draw that first on some paper and then glue and then arrange them on that. Then besides the flowers on the top, I just cut out other shapes to glue in different places around the skull, and notice how I mirrored it in their symmetry. So whatever I did on this side, I did the same on this side. So a little tip to help out with that, just like I did with the eyes, is when I choose a color, I fold it in half, draw the shape, and then cut it out so that then I have two of the same, and they're exactly the same, so I can place them on both sides. If there's anything in the middle, that I just put in the middle, and there doesn't have to be something on the other side. So like this circle and this diamond is just right in the middle, so that's not the same. Some of these extra lines and dots are extra decorations that I'm going to put on at the end with a marker. So right now I'm just going to take my my scissors and my paper and start designing the crown of flowers and then other decorations around the skull. I'm going to do that right now. I think I have all of my pieces cut out, and I just have it placed right now. I don't have them glued down. As you could see when I was working, that sometimes I would cut something out, lay it on top, and then realize that looked a little bit too big, so I'd have to go back and cut it a little bit smaller. So that's why we don't glue it down first. And look how I made it symmetrical on both sides. So whatever I did on this side, I did again on this side. Without, if there's something in the middle, I don't have that. And the head, I have two different colors on the top. You could do it the same color. I kind of thought of the head piece as just kind of one big middle part, so that's why I did those two a little bit differently. So now I'm going to take all of these extra pieces that are loose and glue them down. Everything glued down, but I need to add some extra decorations and embellishments. So I'm going to grab my marker. Some of these markers I have are not as good as other ones, and I think this is my good one. So, okay, so dots, little wavy lines and things like that, just fill up some of that white space. So I'm gonna start with some maybe circles on this side. And remember, whatever I do to one side, I need to do to the other side so that it's symmetrical. Just like a butterfly's wings, think of it like that. Okay. And then you can also add some embellishments to the things that you glued on as well to give it some more character. I might do all my white spaces first and then fill in those parts later. So I'm just gonna do like some lines. It's fun to think of what kinds of lines to make. Maybe some spirals, anything like that. Let's see. Maybe I'll go like, I think it needs something right around the eye here. So I'm gonna go like that. Do the same over here. Like that. Isn't that looking fun? All right, maybe I'll add some things to the paper now. So some lines on the leaves. Maybe some dots. I always like to make like a little spiral inside the eye. Ooh. Makes it fun. And then I'm just gonna outline these. What do you think? Is there anything more that I need? I feel like maybe I need something right here. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll add another little line. Just a little curvy line right there. Right. Add some dots to it. That looks good, right? Okay, so there's the one that I just made now. Here was the one I made before. They're similar, but have some differences. These are so much fun to make. I can't wait to see what you do, what embellishments you decide to add. It's so much fun. Look back at the slides that give you some ideas for different shapes and flowers and things. And once you have it all finished, please take a picture and post it to Seesaw so that I can see it. Thanks so much. Have fun.